Buenas noches a todos. Ojalá que podrías oírme ahora mismo. Buenas a todos. Muchas gracias por estar conmigo otra vez. Spanish Nerd Livestream número 28. Casi llegamos a número 30. Estoy súper emocionado de estar con ustedes y thank you all for coming. I forgot I need to say it in Spanish and in English. Thank you all for coming to this live stream, Spanish live stream number 28. For the first 20 minutes, I'm going to study a little bit. I'm going to read for about 10 minutes. And then after I'm done reading, I'm going to do a little French and Spanish study. So after that, we're going to practicar sobre todo lo que tiene que ver con español y lo que estamos estudiando. Hola, good evening. Buenas tardes, buenas noches, buenos días. Muchas gracias por unirte. Alabama, qué excelente. ¿Me va bien? No me puede quejar. Todo está bien. Everything's all well. Puro domingo. What's up, Jedi? Sean, he covered me, that's why. Sí, te entendiste. Hola, buenas noches. ¿Cómo están ustedes? Hoy voy a estudiar español, claro que sí, español, con la lectura. Yo voy a intentar leer este libro. I'm going to read this for a little bit. La Fundación es un libro de ciencia ficción. It is a science fiction book. I don't know what it's really about yet because I'm only about 20 pages in or less than that, so I'm still trying to figure it out. But I'm gonna read that for a little bit, and then I'm gonna do a little French and Spanish study, and then after that we'll talk. I have some fun topics today, or one main topic, but it's very vast, so that should be pretty exciting. That will be very fun. Muy divertido. A timer. Right now I'm just using the timer that's on like the live stream right now. So right now I can see that we're at 3 minutes of this live stream, so that's what I'm using right now. But I would say normally use chronometro, a timer usually. If I'm studying, even when I'm not studying, if I'm doing kind of any kind of task throughout the day, because I lose track of time really fast. Porque estoy súper desorganizado. Claro que sí. Y definitivamente no dudas. Si tienes dudas en cualquier cosa, solamente pregúntame. If you have any questions about anything, just let me know. Then also make sure that you talk amongst yourselves too. Not talk, but chat amongst yourselves too, because I've seen that has been very helpful. So you don't have to just talk to me, but you can talk to everybody else within the live stream as well. Because usually we have some native Spanish speakers here, so they are usually super resourceful, and they give us or they help us to have a good conversation in Spanish and teach us a lot about their country. Tandem. I have used Tandem like one time, but other than that, like a few times, but I haven't used it that much. I've mainly used Hello Talk, but I haven't used that in, I would say, like over a year. It's 2023, este año, el año pasado, 2022. See, I really haven't used it in like a year and a half. But when I was using it every single day. But right now, I'm not using it anymore because I have more Spanish-speaking friends and I'm around other Spanish speakers, so I get some good conversation and practice in with them. Julian Monaco, what's up, man? Buena pregunta. Colombia. Anime. So I have never watched any cartoon in Spanish before. No, I've never watched any cartoon before in Spanish. I'm trying to think. No, just telenovela. Julian Mónaco, ¿qué estudias específicamente del español en esos lives? Bueno, normalmente yo empiezo con un libro así, con la lectura. Yo leo por 10 minutos o 20 minutos y también yo estudio francés y español con frases básicas. Yo tengo mi cuaderno aquí en donde yo apunto frases en francés y después de esta frase en francés yo escribo la frase en español y yo estudio esas frases así para aprender dos idiomas a la vez. Y aparte de eso, yo he escribido durante esos live streams too. I've done a little bit of writing as well. It's like regular writing. I just write for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So I've done that as well. But usually nothing like crazy. I think the longest that I did the study session for was probably 40 minutes, but I'm cutting that down to like 20. I might even cut it down to like 10 just so we can have more conversation. And I get pretty tired. Black Chunks podcast. I'm applying for a digital nomad visa for Colombia. I'm trying to learn all the Spanish I can. That's awesome. Why did you choose Colombia? I would love to go to Colombia one day. I have not been yet. He covered me, that's why. Says, have you tested your level? No, I have not tested my my Spanish level yet. I'm trying to think. I've taken maybe like an informal, very, very informal test, but that was probably 2 years ago. I don't remember what it was, but no, I don't have a desire to, because I don't want to know what the results are basically, unless I need those results for like a job or something like that. I'm not going to do the exam because it's too much pressure for me. I don't feel the need to know. I don't feel the need to know como un grado específico o una calificación específica por la razón por la cual me va a estresar. Además, no me parece necesario. Have you tested your level? Are you B1 or B2? I was gonna say something else. Oh yeah, then usually for me, I don't necessarily want to take a proficiency exam because the way that I measure my skills is I have like my own methods for how I measure my own skills. So I'm always analyzing my own skill, and that's how I measure like my communication skills, my reading skills. So I don't really care. I don't care about like the say a FAF. I don't care about that necessarily. Like I said, unless I have to actually take it for a job or volunteer work or something like that. He's covering me. That's why. You have any Guatemalan Spanish language resources? I do. I have one. I have a Guatemalan friend, and that's the only resource I have. Other than that, I don't have any to share with you, unfortunately. unless like it's just like Hello Talk or something like that, or or ITALKI, and you could have language exchange on Hello Talk or Tandem, and then ITALKI have an actual ITALKI tutor or professional teacher from Guatemala. But other than that, I don't have any like resources or or YouTube or stuff like that. Kudos tíos. All right, déjame leer por un momento. I'm gonna read for a little bit, like about 10 minutes. I'll try to. Ok, estoy aquí, en esta página. Ahí. Sí, ¿no? $30,000 hombres con sus hijos y dedicados a los niños. He intentado realizar sus obras, pero usted ya sabe, lo arriesga. En 16. ¿Qué es lo que, Amir? ¿Cómo está usted? Me quedan 4 minutos. Me quedan 4 minutos más. Sí, forma de silenciar alrededor de Chen en experiencia. Aliento, sin gusto, duro. Una vía de seres que viven dentro de la seguridad. Pues son dos puntos más. No puede ser detenido por un esfuerzo concebible, no obstante. Juicio. Comenzará. Además de que el futuro. Ok. Esto es el fin de su estudio de hoy. I am definitely cutting that study time short today. Alrighty. Because I want to talk about, well, actually, no. We'll talk about that in a minute. But para empezar, tell me how was your last week? How has studying and learning Spanish this past week been? What have you learned? And how has it been? Dígame. For me, it's been pretty well. I've learned a decent amount this week. Oh, buena pregunta. Jedi asks, why do you study Francis? Francais. Why do I study French? I study French just for fun mostly. I decided that I wanted to learn it beginning of last year. Well, actually, no. Oh, 2 years ago, I said I wanted to study French, and I did it for a day, and then I quit. So I have to like redeem myself for the most part. And it just kind of sounds kind of good. It sounds like a beautiful language. So I think that kind of started it. Then I also had a desire to learn, another language, and I've never learned two languages at the same time before until now. So I thought that would be like an interesting experience, just something new, something different. So that's kind of like the main reasons why I decided to study French. E hola, buenas noches. Ha sido tanto tiempo. Tanto tiempo. Jean Composer, hay aprendido verbos muy extraños. Endezarse, lisonear, gojear, emplezagarse. You're always learning a lot of verbs. And do you remember the definitions right away too, or does it take you a while to learn all these? Amir Carter, I learned about deguismo. I still don't know how to pronounce this. Deguismo. Shout out to the other guy last stream. Qué excelente. ¿Qué más? Dígame, what have you learned this past week? Also, make sure that you like this live stream as well. Dale un, dale un gusto or un thumbs up. I think it's all thumbs up. Yeah. Dale un thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already. Suscríbete a este canal. Eso sería de mucha ayuda. Sean Composer says, me tomo un poco de tiempo de aprender, pero sí explique mis amigos mexicanos, recuerdo más. Ah, ok, entiendo. I haven't really learned like many new verbs for like a long time. Amir Carter, verbs for me are hard. Learning a verb for me is hard, and then actually using it is difficult for me. Amir Carter, I reviewed augmentatives, and diminutives as well. Okay. Sandalias y chanclas. Qué excelente. Un montón de chistes sobre las chanclas. Chancletas. Yeah, that's one word that you're going to see in a lot of jokes, in a lot of jokes in Spanish-speaking countries. Yeah, it's good stuff. Jay, I'm just beginning learning, and I'm jealous that you guys can understand whole citizen's face green smile. Oh, that's funny. It didn't show the emoji. At least I can't see it on here. You can probably see it on yours on your end. Chancla se Jedi says chancla se utiliza más al sur de México. I didn't know that. Yeah, exactly, Amir. Yo diría lo mismo. Estoy de acuerdo con Amir. It definitely takes time. Even for me, I still don't understand everything. So there's still plenty of times I don't understand things. Like la boda de Huitlacoche. Es La boda del Huitlacoche. Amazing song, but also I don't really understand any of the words that are in it, and it's really interesting. That happens to me with a lot of Mexican songs. I don't understand the words in them. I think many of them are probably like native. Como palabras indígenas, yo creo, pero no soy seguro. I mean, it just me feels like nothing is working, but usually everything just clicks. Definitivamente. I'm gonna write this down here too. Oh, let me take this off too, because yeah, I'm not studying anymore. Estamos practicando. Yeah, definitely like after the stream, make sure that you listen to this song. I just made a short about this song, a YouTube short. Where I was dancing. Because now I'm learning to dance to some more like traditional Mexican dances, and that is absolutely fun. Because I'm starting to learn huitla coche. Learning new dances. Jedi, algún podcast en español escuchas? ¿Qué escuchas? Yeah, I listen to a variety of podcasts, specifically on Spotify. Let's see what I got on here. I don't listen to them every single day, like once in a while. It's kind of difficult for me to get input these days, but let's see what I have. Let me see on these playlists. So one that I've listened to, not that one. Hablemos de comida. That one is como todo lo que tiene que ver con la comida. Y los hosts son puertorriqueños. Por eso me encanta este podcast. Porque es como hay profesionales en la industria de la gastronomía que están hablando sobre sus carreras y sus historias, como sus sus niñas, su infancia, su carrera, la educación y cómo se competieron en chefs y cosas así. That's one. So hablemos de comida. That's about food. That was about food and a lot of different topics about food, but like they're very long conversations, and the hosts are Puerto Rican. The accent is absolutely amazing. Another one is Learn Spanish con Salsa. I like that one a lot. That one's in English. That one, there's a lot of like good study tips for if you want to learn Spanish with music, not just salsa, but with music in general. So I like that podcast a lot. Let's see another one. How to Spanish. I don't listen to that. I don't listen for French. No. Yeah, I'm sorry. I do listen to this one. The How to podcast, How to Spanish podcast. They're very popular. This podcast, the hosts are Mexican, and they have every single one of their podcasts are about different topics. Like they have so much knowledge. So that one's really good. So you hear a lot of like Mexican vernacular, but then they also they talk about so many different topics. So like you'll get let's see, mitos que mucha gente cree. That is one. So like myths that a lot of people believe. El universo digital, the digital universe. Cosas que nadie te dijo sobre los mexicanos, things that nobody tells you about Mexicans. So they talk about so many different topics. They're pretty good. And let's see what else I have on here. I have Contra Poder con Jorge Ramos. And that one, he's like a journalist, like a writer. He's a periodista, so Contra Poder. So Univision Noticias, because I like to get my news in. Español Automático, that was the other one. Yeah, Español Automático, I love that one a lot. Pretty sure this one, like the host, can't remember what country she's from, but I'm pretty sure that she is not a native Spanish speaker, but she's absolutely fluent in Spanish. She's a Spanish teacher, and her podcast is like really amazing because she talks a lot about like a lot of different methods for learning Spanish. Gamers RD podcast. I listen to that one a lot. That one's about video games in the entertainment industry, movies and TV shows, video game reviews, that kind of thing. And ¿qué más? ¿Qué más tengo? Doorway to Mexico. I like that one a lot. I wish they made more. I don't know what happened, but yeah, they don't make any more episodes. But Doorway to Mexico is really good for learning how to have conversations in different settings, different locations. Like this one is the car crash, pets discussing pets. Wait, pets discussing pets in Spanish. I haven't heard that. I don't know what that one's about. High school crush, telenovelas versus Mexican cinema. So this one's like more about like it's more focused on Spanish students. That one's really good too, and it just goes through different scenarios, Spanish cooking lessons, Spanish for business, different conversations in Spanish, and then like the teacher is having a conversation with the family, and they're all like the students, and then they have a conversation about the conversation that they had, and then they break down like different words and phrases that were used, primarily Mexican Spanish, or yeah, the Mexican dialect. So that one's pretty interesting. That's about it for podcasts. That's a little breakdown. Good question, Jedi. ¿Cuántos verbos en español sabes tú? No tengo ni idea. Quizás más que 100 verbos. Like I have, como yo había contado la cantidad de verbos que yo sé, que yo sepa, pero eso fue como hace un año. But like sometimes I'll get like a little, not a little, a regular size notebook out. Then I'll just write out like, for example, all the nouns that I know, all the adjectives that I know, all the verbs that I know. I haven't done it in a while, and it's kind of tiring. But yeah, if I had a number, it's probably maybe over 100, maybe, possibly. But I couldn't tell you. Ricardo, I love to learn champeta and vallenato. Yeah, I just heard about vallenato recently. That's in Colombia. Champeta, I don't know what that one is. I think I've heard it before. Is that what like Shakira does? Are those both Colombian dances? Shakira, tengo un examen el miércoles sobre capítulos 1 y 2. Un día se me suerte, quiero lograr a un 100. Un 100. Claro que sí. Que se vaya bien en su examen este miércoles. Ojalá que te saldrá bien. Poodle Foods, Amir Carter, Ricky De Blakely Boggs has a good spot. Does he have like a recent podcast, or is it just like an older one? I know he has had one, but I don't know if he has a recent one that he's made. Kwana G, hola, buenas. Amir Bilingüe. Jay asks, how much time did you spend studying a day? I don't think I'll need it. I really don't know. Because I read for at least for Spanish, I don't necessarily study that much like that. Like, yeah, it's hard to explain. I don't really study that much for like with Spanish really, apart from like reading, as far as like more like kind of formal style studying, because I don't study grammar anymore, really, besides reading. Yeah, cause like normally for Spanish every single day, I just have conversation in Spanish, listen to music in Spanish, maybe watch some YouTube videos in Spanish, and I speak to myself in Spanish, thinking in Spanish. So like that, those types of like methods, I don't track because it's not that it's kind of difficult to track. It's not necessarily difficult to track, but I also don't really track my Spanish studies anymore like that. So I don't really have an answer. Actually, I do have an answer. I'll just say 24/7 if you want to count like speaking to myself all day long. Okay, I mean they're both from Colombia. Yeah, I've heard of champeta before, like once. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is though. And then bayanato, bayanato. Yeah, bayanato. I've heard of that recently. So the gaming, you read a lot in Spanish. What things do you read in Spanish? Yeah, I try to read as much as I mean. I'll say I read every single day, whether that's text messages in Spanish from like friends. I try to read every single day. Like my book here, La Lectura, Fundación. This is the book I'm reading right now. So I'm trying to read this every single day. I'm going kind of slow. Some days I miss, But other than my book, and then other than text messages from my friends, I mean, I look things up like on Google all the time in Spanish. Like today, actually, we'll talk about it in a little bit. But like today, for example, I um, I looked up. Actually, I have it up right now. I looked up the lyrics. Yo busqué las letras de una canción que se llama La boda de Huitlacoche. Es una canción que apenas escuché o escuchó por la primera vez en mi vida. So then I looked up qué es el Huitlacoche, porque yo no conozco esa palabra. O bueno, yo no tengo mucho conocimiento de esa palabra. Yo había oído, yo sé que es un platillo, o bueno, es algo que está dentro de un platillo. But apart from that, so that's kind of what I do. Usually throughout the day, I look things up in Spanish. I go on Google, then I'll look up questions like that. ¿Qué es huitlacoche? O qué es una tortería? ¿Qué es una torta? Cosas así. So yeah, I'm always reading in Spanish, not just books. Amir Carter's older video. Okay, the oldest videos. Okay. Black Trunks podcast. Been an hour a day. That's great. Jay understands. Sounds like full immersion. So I understand it's not possible to count. Yeah, I mean I can count pages. I can count the number of conversations that I have. I can maybe count how long the conversations are, but I don't need to do that. I do count. Oh, I actually forgot. I have been counting the number of conversations that I have. I think that for me, that's been something that's really important to me. I don't know how many new Spanish speakers that I'm talking to, but I don't count like how many minutes. I keep track of how many minutes that I read just so I know how long I've been reading for, but I don't actually like write it down like, oh, I've been reading for this long. But I do write down how many pages I read every single day. I do track that. And then of course, like speaking to myself in Spanish and then thinking in Spanish, I can't really. That's kind of hard to count. E-I-E-I-O, me gustan los libros que tú compraste. Oh, ¿verdad? ¿Y has comprado esos libros también? Sí o sí. Yara, en tu opinión personal, ¿estudiar español es una necesidad o es un hobby? Para mí, yo no podría vivir sin español. Entonces, estudiar español es una necesidad. Una necesidad. But are you saying like como para mí o para los demás? Oh, bueno, para mí. Sí, para mí no es un hobby, no es un pasatiempo, pero es parte de mi vida, es mi vida. Siempre yo digo a mis amigos y también desconocidos que yo soy latino por adopción. Yo soy hispano por adopción. Entonces, sí, estudiar español sí, sí, es parte de mi vida. No es como, sí, no es un pasatiempo como tal. Un pasatiempo es como algo que me gusta, algo que me gusta hacer cuando tenga tiempo libre, pero yo no estudio español cuando tengo tiempo libre necesariamente, pero yo hago por necesidad, porque porque me comunico en español siempre estoy comunicando en español, para mí es una necesidad, como inglés, igual que inglés. Amir Carter, full immersion is the best method. That's how you learn fast your language. I agree. That's also one big reason why I don't care about like levels that much, like proficiency levels and things like that. I don't care about those. Like when in terms como en términos de estudiar y lo que deberías estudiar, like I think a lot of language learners, I'll say Spanish learners, they get too tied up in like levels and things like that. Levels of like what to study. Because I think from day one, like I always say, like from day one, you should be listening to native content like every single day. From day like the first day that you start learning Spanish, I think that you should be listening to native content right away. because that's the only thing that makes sense. It doesn't, because you shouldn't be listening to things just because you don't just because you don't understand something doesn't mean that you shouldn't listen to it. That's like my biggest principle. And so it's like there, because you can always learn. So the whole comprehensible input, I'm gonna make a video about this because it's gonna be a rant. I'm gonna make a big old video about comprehensible input. It's good at the same time. I think it can kind of como disminuir el progreso de un estudiante a la vez. Amir, what is your top 3 favorite Spanish accents? That one's hard. Mis 3 mejores acentos en español. Bueno, lo primero es el acento dominicano. La segunda, that's really hard because I don't know every single accent. So like it will probably change in like a year. Like once I hear more accents. First one is como el acento dominicano. Second one I would say is el acento mexicano. And then third is el acento español. So the Spanish accent. But those are the 3 that I have most exposure to, that I have had exposure to. So that's why it's kind of hard for me to kind of pick. It's like it could change like once I start meeting more people from other countries and things like that. Since I started to meet more Cubans, Cubanos, I like that accent too because it's pretty distinct. I like the Puerto Rican accent too. I think that the Cuban accent sounds really interesting. Here's the Dominican Republic, Argentine, Puerto Rican. Número 4, El Salvador and Chile. Soldier Gaming asks, what do you do when you come across full sentences you don't understand? Do you just Google Translate, or what's your method? Yeah, it depends on what I want to do. Sometimes I may do that, but I'll say the majority of the time I don't. Like I'm very satisfied with not knowing things. It really just depends, like what I'm reading as well. Like, is it something I'm really trying to learn? Then I'll probably look up the whole 2 sentences. Other than that, then I'm just going to just try to figure out what it means by like the few words that I do know. If I like you kind of said, I guess if I don't know any words at all, then I just don't know any at all. Like for me, it's not a big deal trying to know every single thing. Because like I say, if I do look that up on Google Translate, I'm going to forget like the next 2 minutes. In the next 2 minutes. Sean Composer, España, número 1, número 2, Argentina. Argentinian accent, 3, Mexican. I mean, it really just depends. Like sometimes I know, let's see, like I remember I used to, when I started to learn more vocabulary that was related to real estate and banking and stuff like that, I would actually like go into Google Translate because like I didn't know any of that vocabulary at all. So I would, like in that case, I wanted to like understand that in that moment, so I would look it all up. But now it's like, maybe it's like a few words here and there. So it really depends on how I'm feeling, But yeah, but it also depends, like, are you talking about like an article? Are you talking about like what my friend says? Or are you talking about like a book, If it's a book, if I'm reading a book, I don't understand, I never look up like full sentences. I always just try to figure it out from the few words that I do know. And if I don't know any words, I never translate the whole sentence. When I'm reading, I'm definitely okay with just like not understanding. Like right now, I don't understand like a lot of this book right now. I mean, there's a lot of words I don't know, but at the same time, like I never just do Google Translate because for me that's not that important. I just keep on reading. Yeah, I'm not that. the type of reader that has to know every single word. I'm very okay with not knowing 90%. I just keep on reading anyway because for me personally, what I do a lot of the time is I don't focus on what I don't understand necessarily. Like I'm not trying to know what the definition of every little thing is and understand every little thing. What I do a lot when I read is I focus on the grammar. So that's what I do personally. That's just what I like to do because I learn a lot about grammar by reading. So that's what I use reading for a lot. It's not necessarily just like to learn new vocabulary all the time because I don't learn new vocabulary a lot when I'm reading because I don't like look up every single thing. I just like to try to like figure out what the story is on my own without looking up too many different things. But sometimes I will look it up if I see one like a word I don't know over. I see it over and over again. Then I'll probably look it up. But I don't do like full sentences. Yeah, it's not something that I do. Yeah, I've been like that for a while. Vos estudiaste el voceo si no vos tenés que aprenderlo. Claro que no, aún no había estudiado el voceo, pero me toca hacerlo, yo sé. Es una necesidad. Jada, how do you study vocabulary in español? Do you learn para memorizar? Another good question. Hoy en día, no. Oh, wait, how do you study vocabulary? So I don't really study vocabulary these days. That's the kind of weird part. I am very lazy when it comes. Okay, that's not the right word I want to say. I'm not lazy when it comes to like learning new vocabulary words. I just don't. It's not the same as it used to be because I don't have that much time anymore. So usually the way I learn like new vocabulary words is all through conversation. So before it used to be just me sitting here and learning like this. But nowadays I learn a lot of vocabulary just by through conversations that I'm having. And a lot of times too, it's I don't even realize when I'm learning new vocabulary words because it's like I was saying before, because Spanish is a part of my life, and how to put it, like the things that I do right now, I learn like vocabulary in so many different ways that I don't realize I'm doing it. Like um like now I go out to taquerias a lot. I go to try to go out to a Mexican restaurant every single or like I think Spanish speakers would be Latino restaurants every single week, and I've been writing down. Okay, never mind. I do know some ways. I write down exactly what I ate. I write down exactly what plate that I just the plate that I just ate. So that's one way that I've been doing that recently. But other times it's like through conversation. Like someone says a word, and then I ask them, oh, ¿qué es eso? So that's like another way. But again, like that kind of thing kind of slips my mind because I'm having a conversation, but I'm not like thinking about like, oh, I'm trying to learn new vocabulary, but it happens naturally. You know what I mean? During a conversation, I'm just trying to figure out what that person is saying to me. So I'm asking, oh, what does that word mean? ¿Qué significa eso? ¿Cómo me puedes repetir otra vez? So that's one way. A lot of conversations because I have a lot of conversations now in Spanish. Let's see what else. And especially like recently, because like last week, no, a few days ago on last Friday, I went to a Mexican restaurant and I was having a conversation con mi mesero y me pregunto like if I wanted if I wanted my horchata ahorita o vas a esperar. So in this case, I didn't know like what he was talking about. I was like ahorita. But then since he said va a esperar, I know he was talking. Those are two opposites, of course. So I'm like, oh, ahorita means right now, and like ahorita doesn't mean like later, like I've heard in other contexts. So like that was one way I learned about the word ahorita, even though I didn't know like some context. In this conversation, I didn't know what the context was until he told me. So I guess like yeah, those are different methods that I've learned vocabulary. But other than that, it's not like I'm constantly learning like new verbs. Like right now, I don't like sit here and just try to like look up a whole bunch of different words I don't know. I don't necessarily do that. Sometimes I do, but like not a lot. Like I just look up words throughout the day. Sometimes that I don't know or that I forget or something like that. So that's kind of what I do. It's like very spontaneous. So that's why it's kind of hard for me to to say. Like before, I used to like deliberately learn new vocabulary words every single week. like like get on my flashcards and just study those every single day. But now I don't really do that anymore. Um, yeah, so it's as much as I learned a lot of vocabulary words from speaking, then also from music. Like with this song, you can see on the screen here, La Boda de Huitlacoche. So here's another way that I learned vocabulary. Let's see, because last year I got some quesadillas de Huitlacoche, but I had no idea what the word meant. I didn't look it up. So like all last year, I had no idea what Huitlacoche means, but I knew kind of what it looked like. I knew what it tasted like, but I never looked it up. But I got it anyway. And then recently I heard this song, La Boda de Huitlacoche. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I see this word again. And then I'm seeing in the context of the title, La Boda de Huitlacoche. I'm like, wait, Huitlacoche, that was like a food that I just ate. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So today I looked it up. So actually, let's learn together. Let's learn what a Huitlacoche is. ¿Qué es Huitlacoche? So I just went on Google and I looked up ¿Qué es Huitlacoche? Huitlacoche, el nombre científico del Huitlacoche es Ustilago maidis y es un hongo parásito que afecta distintos tejidos de la planta de maíz, incluyendo las mazorcas, pero también las hojas y los tallos. Es una plaga que afecta a los maizales alrededor del mundo y no es visto con muy buenos ojos por los agricultores. En México se le colecta y se comercia como uno de los ingredientes más selectos de la cocina mexicana. So basically, huitlacoche is a type of fungus, like a parasite fungus, I guess, in corn. So that is what you actually find in a lot of Mexican dishes. So I had that recently. Then I heard like the song recently, so that's why I looked up this word huitlacoche. Now I learned that it's a hongo. It's a fungus, like a parasitic fungus. And I also learned the word today, hongo. So that was also pretty new. That's kind of cool. So right now, I'm really interested in learning about this song La Boda de Huitlacoche. Why is there a wedding about fungus? That's kind of weird, right? So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going through right now. I think that answered your question. But yeah, I don't really learn to memorize. Like in this case, I just looked at Huitlacoche, and maybe I'll remember it. Like now for sure, I know I'm gonna remember it. It's an hongo, it's a fungus. But like I probably more than likely I wouldn't go back to this word every single day of this week and try to memorize it. I wouldn't do that. I would look it up like, okay, it's un hongo. But maybe in a week I might forget it. More than likely I won't, because I've seen the word over and over again now. And it has coche in it. Isn't that kind of funny? You know what? Like coche is a car, so that's it's like a weird wheatla. I want to know what wheatla means. I don't know what wheatla means, but I know what coche means. So it's kind of interesting. The combination of words in Spanish. Space repetition system. Yeah, that works. Space repetition works absolutely amazingly. It works very, very, very good. Un sistema de repetición espaciada. Listening, repetition, applying, and using the new words ASAP with friends, a native, or talk to yourself. Okay, excelente. Oh, I guess you know what? Now that you brought that up, Amir, I should probably say that as well. So, when I hear something that I don't know in a conversation, a specific word, right? Normally, what I do is not only do I ask them, I ask the person I'm talking to, what does that mean? ¿Qué significa esa palabra? ¿Qué es eso? They say the word to me, and then I repeat it. I said, I'll come. I'm like, oh, ahorita, ahorita. Oh, okay. Oh, huitlacoche, huitlacoche. Ah, okay. And then that's how I've remembered words too, by doing that over and over again. And for me, that's always been like a natural like response. I always repeat what the other person says. I don't know if it's like a good thing. I don't think they get annoyed by it. I do like a few times, but that's also how I say more how I learn and how I get that vocabulary to stick. I don't want to say memorize because I'm not like looking at that word over and over and over again. That's how I picture memorization. But it just kind of you're like, oh, I hear it. Okay, I repeat it. Okay, we like coche. We like coche. Oh, okay. But I don't do too much like thinking about it usually. Depending on the word, it really depends on what my focus is like on the day. Like there's some days, maybe I want to use a new adjective. So I don't know. What's one that I learned recently? Luminoso for one. Oh, I like that adjective a lot. So I'm gonna repeat that word throughout the day. Luminoso, luminosa. I'm gonna make sure that I use that word throughout the day. So that's another way as well. AEAO fue un buen consejo porque yo no sabía dónde podría comprar los libros de español porque fui a Goodwill. Ah, ok, qué excelente. Sí, son baratos y mi biblioteca no tiene muchos libros de español, solamente un lado de estante. Ok. So AEAO was just saying, was a good tip because I didn't know where to buy books, Spanish books. I went to Goodwill. They were cheap, and my library didn't have many books in Spanish. Jedi, I learned to watch SpongeBob Season 1 para mejorar mi inglés. Excelente. Sean, Goodwill tendrá libros en español. Necesita hacer una cita. Yeah, I always buy books on Amazon usually. Hola, Tyler. Buenas. Tyler Phoenix. Buenas noches. Dios mío. Aprendí hoy sabroso y pegajosa. I like those words. Those are really good for talking about food. And don't forget to like the live stream, the Spanish live stream, like it. Subscribe to the channel, suscríbete al canal, and turn on notifications as well, so you can be notified for new videos. I have a video coming out tomorrow, so that should be fun. Uploading a video tomorrow, 6 a.m. I have a video that will be uploaded. Hope you all like it. As well, make sure that you check out the links in the description of this live stream as well. Got some Spanish resources and then also some French resources as well. I'll put the French ones in the live streams because I usually study French during the live streams. A little bit of French and Spanish, but in the regular videos, it's only going to be Spanish resources only in the regular videos that I make and the shorts. But in the live streams, well, some of the live streams I have some French resources as well. So definitely check those out. Also, if you haven't yet, you can download a free PDF, my Spanish conversation blueprint that I created for y'all. All you have to do is put in your contact information and you'll be subscribed to the email list and you'll receive that in your email. So that's something I created for everyone. That's free. That's just for tips for having better conversations in Spanish for the most part. So I thought that was very important because for me, I'm always trying to increase my conversations in Spanish. I'm always trying to improve my speaking skills, my communication skills, because it's an ongoing battle. It never stops. I'm always trying to improve. And then let's see, déjame ver qué más. So yeah, I got the Spanish conversation blueprint. If you have downloaded that already and you have looked at it, let me know. Let me know how you liked it because yeah, I like to get some feedback on that. And then let's see, got a link for, let's see, I have, if you're using iTalki right now, I have three tutors that I've used before in the past that I suggest or that I recommended, to use them because they're pretty good. So those three tutors are also linked in the description. And then there's also a link for an iTalki discount, so you can get some discount on some lessons. So that's pretty nice. Only if you haven't used your trial lessons though. Usually, like when you join, you get I think three or so trial lessons, or they say, I'm trying to think. For the discount specifically, if you've already taken like a lot of iTalki lessons, basically you wouldn't be able to use this. I don't think. Well, it depends. I have to double check the rule. But yeah, anyway, click on that anyway and see see if you can. But yeah, you have to get some discount on your iTalki lessons with that link. And then of course I have a link to my Buy Me a Coffee page where you can donar dinero, and apoyar mi canal. So that helps out as well. Y dame un minuto, por favor, because I have to plug up my computer because la batería está bajando rápidamente. Un minuto. All right. Ya regreso. Good question, Soldier Gaming. So, what do you do whenever you freeze up during conversation in Spanish, or what have you done in the past? A lot of things, actually. Well, let's see. One thing that I have done, it's identifying why you freeze up. So that's like one big way that I've been able to figure that out. Definitely do that. Analyze reasons why. Like, my whole YouTube channel, for the most part, I say is like a big reflection of my Spanish learning journey. So, I'm always talking about, what I've done in the past, what went well, what didn't go well, like my feelings, mis sentimientos, y mis emociones, and things like that. So, yeah, definitely analyzing, what makes me freeze up because, at the beginning of my journey, I didn't know why I was freezing up. So I had to, really figure that out, So then once I started to think about it and started to do a lot of reflection, after that, then I started to realize, I started to freeze up because, I lack vocabulary, me falta el vocabulario, o porque yo tengo temor de hablar con un hispanohablante, because I have fear to talk with, a Spanish speaker, or see some other reasons. Fear, lack of vocabulary, embarrassment, vergüenza, shame, things like that. Fear, see, freeze up during conversation, listening to you, or what have you done in the past? Yeah, then like one thing that I put in the conversation blueprint, the Spanish conversation blueprint, is using what you know. So one tip is using what you know in that conversation blueprint, because many times when I have frozen up, it's because like I'm trying to think of like before I used to have like a really bad habit of not using vocabulary that I already knew, but I would try to use vocabulary that like I just learned like for the first time, but I didn't really know how to use it. I didn't know like what the definition was really. I didn't know how to use it in context, but I was trying to use like the most complex vocabulary when I was speaking, like for like pride reasons, instead of using vocabulary that I already knew. So like that was a big issue, and that was like one big reason like why I kept freezing their conversations, because I was trying to use words I had no idea how to use in context. So that was like one big way. Then after that, I just started to use vocabulary that I know instead of trying to use vocabulary that I don't know. And that makes sense. Like why use vocabulary that you don't know? Like why say things if you don't know what they mean, right? So yeah, that's like one way. And then if you have fear, that's like a whole different thing, right? That's yeah, you just have to you have to figure out how to get over your fear. That's like a real personal kind of thing, So Yeah, como depende de ti. I've had, plenty of fear, speaking Spanish. I mean, I still do. I still have, fear when I have conversations with people. But now it's like a lot more tolerable than it was beforehand. A lot more tolerable than it was beforehand. And let's say, I mean, it's taking a lot of repetitions. It's taking a lot of conversations to get to where I'm at right now. But again, like I still have, I still get nervous. I still have, some fear when when I'm talking to someone new, of course. It's just like, like in your native language, if you're talking to someone you never talked to before, it's kind of like a weird kind of conversation, kind of, you could, depending on your personality and stuff like that, it could be kind of strange, it could be, really weird when you're talking to someone like for the first time. Think of it almost like like a date. It's like super like, it's like, what do I say? Like, what do I do with my hands? And I would compare that to like when you're having conversations, in your second language, you're not used to it. It's a completely new experience. So it's kind of strange, to say the least. But yeah, hope that answers your question. Yeah, your confidence grows, but that's also part of the Spanish conversation blueprint. If we're talking about like fear specifically when we're if you want to have a conversation with someone, is for me to be able to get to where I'm at today, I've had to push myself, get out of my shell, get out of my comfort zone, and go up to people and say hola. So that's another tip that I have in that conversation blueprint is just say hola. So making that decision that okay, you're gonna go up to someone and you're gonna say hola and start a conversation. So I've had to do that over and over and over and over again. And yeah, it's been a challenge. And not just that I might as well just keep talking about like the other tips that I have out there. um and yeah, so like after saying hola, so that's like the first step, right? So you have to push past that first the first part of having a conversation is going up to someone and then saying hello, and then after that is how do you continue to have that conversation? And that kind of goes with what I was saying beforehand, facing your fear or whatnot, and then also using vocabulary. So like there's so many different aspects of having a conversation. So that's why I like talking about it a lot, and that's why I made that blueprint too, because like there's so many different aspects of having a conversation I never like really thought about before. Like before, I was like, oh, you learn a little bit of vocabulary. Okay, bueno, yo aprendo un poco de vocabulario, verbos, adjetivos, sustantivos, y bueno, ok, yo voy a tener una conversación perfecta en español. Y eso es no lo que sucedió. Like it's not necessarily like that simple. Like a conversation is very dynamic. It's different with every single person. Like it's very different. It's a very very interesting conversation, but also very fun. It's challenging, it's fun, it's new, and it's different. So hopefully that answers your question. Amir, dando like al video, ese tipo tiene consejos buenos y también para apoyarlo y crecer su canal, sin duda está en, ay Dios, infra, infravalorado. Muchas gracias. Buen trabajo. Good job. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yo estoy mi primera vez que vi esas palabras, pero no puedo resistir de los averiguo, averiguar y estoy alegre que lo hice. Pienso que no podré olvidarlos porque lo aprendí en contexto. Qué excelente. Amir, do you feel like Spanish you and English you are different? Oh, absolutely. My personality is very different. Um, yeah, my personality is very different when I speak Spanish. And I feel the same way that you do. Amir says, I feel like my Spanish has more energy and more adventurous in English. Yeah, I'm more tranquilo in English. Como en español, como si yo hablo como loco en español. I think my personality kind of changes. I think like depending on the accent too, a little bit. I've noticed like when I speak like with the Spanish accent, I feel like my personality changes a little bit too. Lucas Acosta, how can you improve Spanish listening skills? Improving Spanish listening skills. That's a great question. It just really the biggest one with that is time. It's input and time. Input and time are like two main factors I would say when it comes to listening comprehension, improving listening comprehension skills. It takes time. It takes time to realize. It takes time to realize that there's a difference. Number one, it's like very difficult to it's very difficult to track like improvements in your listening comprehension skills. Like you can't. It's like not like a day to day thing. That's kind of the difficult part of improving your listening skills, and there's so many different things when it comes to listening comprehension as well. That's why it's kind of difficult to kind of measure and stuff like that. For example, you could understand like the words that I'm saying, for example, right now in English, but maybe you don't understand the idea that I'm talking about, or you don't understand like a joke that I said, but you still understand the definitions of a word. And that's why like Spanish can be like trying to improve your listening skills could be difficult because like like the first step would be okay, I have to understand what vocabulary words that the Spanish speaker just spoke. So that's like the first task. Okay, what word did they say? Okay, he said, ayer yo hice ejercicio en la mañana. It's like, okay, so I know like the little definition of the words. Yesterday, this person, went to the gym in the morning. So I know what they say, but maybe they say like a joke or something like that in Spanish. You understand every single word that they said, like you knew what they were, like you could write them out, you could say them, you know the definition of each of those words, but you didn't understand the joke. So like that's like it's like the complexity part of like improving your listening comprehension because it's not just at first it's just understanding what words you're saying, but then it's also knowing what those words mean in context. So yeah, it's kind of confusing. But as far as improving it again, it's a lot of input. Like first, if you're hearing like something for the first time in your life, Spanish, you just learning it. Everything is new, and it takes it takes a very long time to for your ears to get adjusted to the language. Um, it takes time for you for your ears to get adjusted for you to actually be able to pick out the word that they're saying. Like I said, like that's the first part. But yeah, it's like listening, a lot of input and then a lot of repetition as well. Like repetition is very important too. And having conversations with Spanish speakers has helped me a lot as well. If you're at home, then reading helps. Reading helps, and then knowing how the alphabet sounds in the Spanish language really helps too, because then you can work on pronunciation. It's because there's a connection between like the way that you speak, like what you're hearing, and then also like what you're speaking to. It's like really weird, but like happen at the same time. Like if I'm reading a book, for example, I'll do an example. So I know how different letters sound in the Spanish language, right? So I'll sound out a word right now. Aplicado. Aplicado comes from the verb aplicar. So I know how, like for me, I'm reading it. I know what it sounds like the letters and everything like that. So I sound it out. So now it's going to be a little bit easier for me to actually pick out when I'm hearing that in the conversation, aplicado, to a certain extent, depending on the accent. So that's another way as well. I think reading helps, especially if you're learning, because like if you're learning your first language, you learn a lot of words just through input and like not studying and things like that. But as an adult, it's different. As an adult, we don't like learn the same way to a certain extent because we're not just like being talked at all the time. Like if you're like a baby, right? You're just being talked to by like adults all the time, and like they're directing you, they're teaching you like that. But as an adult, it's not the same type of input. Like we have to like, force input. We have to force ourselves to listen to input to be able to get like that same input that like a baby has. But at the same time, we don't have like basically teachers around us every single day teaching us. So that's why it's kind of difficult in that manner. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, reading, learning the different letters of the Spanish alphabet help out a lot. Repetition. Again, if you're at home, reading is really good. And then also, watching a video. I think for technology is like really helpful because you can watch a video and then that's what's going with that point, because like we read, like as adults and things like that. The way that we learn Spanish, we do a decent amount of reading. So if you're watching a video, you can put the Spanish subtitles on. It's really good because then you're connecting the word to that. You're connecting the word to you're connecting that word that you're seeing on the screen with how it's pronounced. So every time that you're hearing that word, you're seeing it at the same time, and then you'll be able to understand how each of those letters are pronounced. So it's really strange, but yeah. And yeah, I would say conversations are really helpful, as I was saying throughout this live stream, because like when I have conversations with native Spanish speakers, every single time, if not every single time, but many times when I don't understand what someone has just said, I always ask them to, ¿cómo me puede repetir otra vez? Or no te escucho, no te escuche, no entiendo, and then they'll repeat what they said, and then once they repeat it, I repeat it as well. So they say, una quesadilla de huitlacoche. Wait, ¿qué dijiste? What'd you say? ¿Me puede repetir? Una quesadilla de huitlacoche. Okay. Una quesadilla de huitlacoche. Una quesadilla de huitlacoche. Okay. Una quesadilla de huitlacoche. So that's another way as well. It's really strange, but like once you actually do repetition, like with pronunciation, so you speak out loud what someone has said, that helps you actually remember the sound of that word if you repeat it after them. I don't know why. I don't understand the science behind it, but I know it works. But yeah, that's one method that I use all the time. I mean, because it happens. I mean, you do it all the time, in your native language too. So you can think of it as like that. Like if you don't understand what someone said, right? If you don't understand what someone said to you in your native language, you would ask them, that same question. That you're like, what'd you say? They would repeat it, and you're like, you said, okay. You said, okay. You said, I had that. Okay. You don't say you got that. You said, that you had that. Okay. So it's like this, very similar to that. Like I said, I don't know the science behind it. I just know how it works. Jota 56374. One thing I did was prepare a story about past experience by writing some of it out and practice speaking it for myself. Then I ditched the paper and tried speaking freely. Amir Carter, Dirty Spanish. Dirty Spanish is a very underrated resource. I highly recommend it for intermediate learners and advanced. It took me to the next level. I haven't heard of Dirty Spanish before. What is it, like a course, or is it a YouTube channel? Lucas, sort of like immersing yourself in it with Spanish-speaking people. So yeah, definitely, immersion is definitely necessary. Like I also recommend, have conversations with Spanish speakers as much as possible. Listen to music, listen to podcasts, YouTube videos, all that good stuff. And then, like I said, really, it's just like an overtime thing. With time, repetition, a little bit of effort, you'll start to understand more and more and more. But I think one key thing is not to have it's kind of hard to say realistic expectations, because like as a complete beginner, like if you started like today, you don't really know how long it takes. So that's the other difficult part too. Like when you're just starting out, it's like, when am I going to understand more? And the thing with that is just like with listening comprehension, it's like hard to, you can't, like there's no number. It's just like you get better and better and better, and then the amount that you increase your listening comprehension doesn't stop. Like for me, I'm still increasing my listening comprehension all the time, because as humans, we don't always just understand people all the time, right? Like there's always something that we may not understand. So like I think that's like that's like one of those things you have to realize when you're learning Spanish. When it comes to listening comprehension specifically, there's not like a specific date that you understand everything, and that's something that I like used to stress out a lot about a lot no, a lot about. I always forget como la gramática en inglés. La gramática en inglés me complica. I used to stress out about a lot when I first started learning like more seriously. I'm like, oh, when am I going to understand this Netflix show 100%? And it's like I'm not 100% really like with anything. So yeah, that's listening comprehension is very complex. It's very complex. I like damn me bad. Yeah, like I don't think like a goal should never be to like know 100% of like of everything necessarily, unless it's like a song. Like a song is like a little bit different. Like, oh, okay, I know what every single word is because I memorize the lyrics. That's a little bit different. But like movies and TV shows, like that it shouldn't be a goal to like, oh, like let me repeat. We don't repeat. We don't memorize the whole script of a movie or a TV show. So that's pretty normal. Like there's not many people who are actively trying to memorize a script or anything like that. So that's why it's like, you don't have to stress out about knowing everything in a movie or a TV show. At least I don't. For me, I'm like I try to be as stress-free as possible, when I'm learning Spanish. So I don't care if I don't know 50% of what I'm reading in a book. I don't care. Not that I don't care. I don't mind. That's a better word. I don't mind if I don't understand 50% of what I'm reading in a book. I don't understand if I'm not understanding 50% of a movie or a TV show that I'm watching, because I understand that it is not realistic that I'm going to understand 100% of a movie or TV show every single time. It's not that's not my goal. My goal is just to improve my listening comprehension little by little over time. And then of course that, or maybe if you don't know, when you're increasing listening, your listening comprehension varies a lot depending on who you're talking about, who you're talking to, because there's a lot of Spanish-speaking countries, and every single one has a different accent. Not only do they have different accents, they have different accents within the countries themselves. So there's a lot that goes to listening comprehension. Let's say you increase your listening comprehension, let's say to 70%. I say that because it's kind of hard to say like, oh, I understand 70% of what they said. It's kind of hard to calculate that. But let's say you understand 80%, 90% of what Mexicans say when you're in Mexico, but then you go to Dominican Republic like I did, and then you didn't understand anything at all. So your listening comprehension changes depending on who you're talking to a lot. So that's why it's not just like a straight line. It's like, oh, okay, I'm increasing. I understand 100%, and now I have nowhere to go. But it's just like a constant battle to try to comprehend the Spanish speaker. It's not just like a straight linear line. It's like, okay, one day I'm going to wake up and I understand 100%. I always try to tell people that. Same thing with speaking skills. Like for me becoming fluent, speaking Spanish fluently, it wasn't like I woke up one day and I spoke Spanish just, like the way I do right now. Same thing with listening comprehension. It wasn't like I woke up one day and my listening comprehension was just like so much better. Like maybe I get to like, small differences, but it wasn't just like a night to day like switch. Like, okay, yep. Now today I know that I like that I'm a fluent Spanish speaker, or that I can understand 100% of what Spanish speakers are saying. It's usually not the case. I don't think so, in my opinion. En mi humilde opinión, yo no creo que funcione así en la vida. I like listening to podcasts, and some of them have transcripts. I like them because you can pause and hit the backup button and also change the playback speed. Yeah, that's also really good. That's something that I use as well. Like on Spotify, I use it all the time. On Spotify, you can, let's see, you can go back. I think it's 15 seconds. Yeah, if you're listening to like a podcast, you can, what do you call it? I was gonna say reverse. It's not reverse. I'll say backup. I don't think it's called a reverse button on Spotify. I don't know what it's called. But anyway, if you listen to a podcast, you can go back 15 seconds in the podcast in an episode. So that's like really helpful. Here, the video of Dirty Spanish is they have various accents, their stories of real life, realistic events, and they have the transcriptions. I find the best part a lot. Street Spanish books. Street Spanish slang. Que excelente. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, I've heard of gritty Spanish before. I'm like, I don't know what dirty Spanish is. Yeah, I've heard of gritty Spanish before. Lucas Acosta, de nada, con gusto. Christian Noe, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Tu apellido. Hi, my name is Spanish speaker and your Spanish is quite good. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. Yo practico muchísimo por eso. Siempre estoy practicando mi español. Y la forma que comunique. I'm here also with the accents. They are voiced by native. So if it's a Mexican, you'll hear a Mexican with a perdóname. Mexican with a Mexican accent or an Argentine with an Argentine accent. It's dope. Trust me. Has anyone tried Jota? Has anyone tried starting out searching for children's books in Spanish as a help? I have not. Johnny V, how long have you been at a high level of Spanish? That's hard to say. I would say we're in 2023, 2022. I would say 1 year that I've had like a higher level, if I can say, a higher level of Spanish. And mostly I say that because I'm measuring that by communication, me having conversations with Spanish speakers. Because I was not having consistent conversations in Spanish, like in person, until 2021. Like 2020, I had some conversations in Spanish in person, mostly with my friend, but we spoke like English and Spanish. And then sometimes I would go to restaurants. But other than that, I was never like really speaking Spanish like that in person. But then 2021 is when I started to speak Spanish with people with new people. I started like to branch out and get out of my comfort zone and started to have a lot of conversations in Spanish. And then from there, I just been just talking to more and more and more native Spanish speakers. Johnny asks, which countries or part of a country is easiest to understand? You're asking in general. I can't answer that. If you're asking like what would be the easiest country for you to understand, or for another Spanish learner, I can't answer that. It's like a tough question. Because for me, like from my opinion, I don't think there's like if you're a beginner in Spanish, I don't think that there is. It's very controversial. Es una opinión bastante polémica. Yo no creo que, que, que debería importar. No creo que es importante escoger el español perfecto. ¿Cuál es el acento más fácil para aprender? Como siendo principiante de español, siendo estudiante de español. No me importa eso. Y tampoco nunca recomendaría eso a alguien que deberías escoger el acento mexicano porque es más fácil para aprender. It's like very subjective, and for example, it really depends like on where you are, because like it really depends. Like if you're living in a specific Spanish speaking country, then of course you living in that country is going to be easier for you to understand that particular Spanish accent and dialect because you're living there, in comparison to a country that you have never been in before and you have no idea about like the culture there, the music, and nothing like that. So like that only makes sense. Amir, I usually use slang that trips me up with people but that's normal even with natives. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're talking about too, right? Because I mean, there's certain topics where you're not where there's not going to be like maybe there may not be a lot of slang, like de dónde eres, cuál es tu plato favorito, pues sí, bueno, con los platillos, claro que sí, van a tener un nombre distinto en cada país, pero you probably be able to understand. Or they just have to say pollo o algo así. Oh, bueno, ¿dónde vives? ¿Vives en una ciudad grande o chica? Or, sí, or chica. Like very basic questions. There's a lot of basic questions that you can ask someone where there'll be like a very minimum amount of like slang. Boogie, ¿cuántos años tienes de estudiar español? Yo tengo, déjame ver, ¿cuántos años? ¿Cuántos años? Bueno, yo, 17, 4, 14, 13, más 10. Bueno, yo técnicamente, yo empecé hace 4 años. Yo empecé a estudiar español hace 4 años, lo siento, a 14 años, pero no estaba estudiando español constantemente, como cada año, durante todo el año. Eso fue solamente en la clase formal. En la clase formal yo estudié cuando tenía 13 años. 13 años. Pero yo diría, estudiando español seriamente, como 3 años, 3 y medio años. I'll say about 3.5 years. Oh, damn, my bad. Like seriously studying Spanish, like consistently, like not in school. It's been about 2021, 2021, 2022. Almost 3 full years studying Spanish on my own outside of school. So, because when I started studying Spanish outside of school, como cuando empecé a estudiar español fuera de la escuela, fuera de la universidad, es cuando yo entendí más sobre español y cuando yo aprendí un montón sobre la cultura, el vocabulario, en contexto, la comunicación en español y hablando con hispanohablantes en español en persona. Eso fue después de graduarme de la universidad. Pero durante mi tiempo en la universidad, como nunca estaba estudiando español así, pero solamente para sacar una buena nota y para pasar mis clases y graduarme, pero aparte de eso, no me esforcé tanto en aprendiendo el idioma. Perú, El Salvador, Honduras, Costa Rica, Colombia, Bogotá y México. Snappy Spanish. I never heard that one before. Kevin, hola. Muchas gracias por unirte. Kevin, déjame saber. Actually, everybody, cada persona que esté en este video en directo, déjame saber, por favor, cómo encontraste mi canal de YouTube y por qué estás aquí. Let me know how did you find my YouTube channel, Spanish Blueprints. And also, why are you in this live stream? I'm interested to know. So were you looking on YouTube? Like, were you searching something and you found my channel, or did you just like a video popped up or like recommended to you, then you watched it, let me know that. I'd love to know. And then also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure that you do that. Subscribe to the channel. Suscríbete. I always have trouble saying that word. Suscríbete. Suscribir. You should look up that word if you haven't yet. Look up that word to subscribe in Spanish. It's like very difficult to say. Suscribir. I've been practicing this word for like since I started this YouTube channel, so I can say it a little bit better now. Suscribir. Suscríbete. Para que te conviertes en un suscriptor. So yeah, subscribe to the channel. Then also turn on your notifications so you can be notificado por nuevos videos míos, for new videos as well. Because I make videos and upload them every single week. So, and yeah, also share my videos as well with your friends. If you know anybody who's interested in learning Spanish, or has a desire to learn any type of language, share my videos with them as well. That would be súper útil y yo lo apreciaré muchísimo. Johnny, gracias por la respuesta. Sin duda. Con gusto. Escoger. You know what's crazy? I just realized that escoger has coger in it. Wow. I just figured that out right now. I just noticed that. Escoger has coger in it. It actually has two words. It has S, and then it has coger. Escoger. That's really interesting. That's a combination of words. Amir, have you ever met someone in real life from Tandem or HelloTalk? I'm certainly doing that to have more language with your friends where I live. I have done that dos veces. Kevin, el acento mexicano se utiliza más en las películas o series. Por ejemplo, Los Simpsons se dobla en español latino. En Argentina escuchan en español México Los Simpsons. That's funny. I didn't know that. That makes sense. El doblaje. That's actually a new word that I learned recently too. El doblaje. El doblaje. Say dobla. El doblaje. That's a new word I learned. Yeah, o de España también. Makes sense. Johnny, good question. Have you ever listened to a study Español de España? Yeah, I'm studying Spanish from España ahora mismo. Y voy a compartir un creador que yo veo en YouTube. I have one YouTuber that I watch who is from Spain a lot. Y su canal se dedica a todo que tiene que ver con los libros, la lectura y la escritura como tal. What is her name? I will write it here in the... Oops. Rachel. Su nombre es Rachel. Libros. Rachel. Ay, Dios. Déjame escribir, por favor. Libros. Ok, su nombre es Raquel. Raquel Brun. Eso es un YouTuber en la que escucho muchísimo, porque me encantan los libros y la lectura. Y aparte de eso, hay... ¿Cuál es la otra? La Resistencia. That was pretty good too. Resistencia. Those are two YouTube channels that I watch. I'm trying to watch as much as possible because I want to desarrollar mi acento español, porque me atrae. Y no recuerdo cómo te encontré. Está bien. Estaba buscando cómo aprender dos idiomas al mismo tiempo y encontré tu video, pero en este momento no tengo tanto tiempo para estudiar porque tengo mucho lío con la universidad. I like that word, lío. Entiendo. Cuando tengas tiempo, hazlo. Inténtalo. Kevin, estaba viendo cómo los nativos en inglés estudiaban español y me salió tu canal. Jajaja. Viendo cómo los nativos en inglés estudiaban español. Ah, ok. Qué excelente. My Journey to Fluency. Ah, buenas, ¿cómo estás? My Journey to Fluency. Muchas gracias por unirte. Mark, I am already subscribed. Ya estoy suscribido a tu canal. And notice that you're live. Awesome. Muchas gracias por unirte también. Thank you all for joining this live stream, special live stream. No me acuerdo, no recuerdo, no me acuerdo. ¿Estudia vosotros? Claro que sí. Yeah, I do not have the verb conjugation down. I have not been focusing on that. I need to focus on the verb conjugations in España. Como pensáis, conocéis. Like como me complica la pronunciación de las conjugaciones también. Soldier gaming. Demostrar as mostrar in it, which means to show. Demostrar as mostrar, in which means to show. Ah, okay. Yeah. Oh, demostrar, to demonstrate. It also has, yeah. Demostrar. Mostrar. Yo porque estoy aburrido. Y tiene que tomar un descanso. Qué excelente. Never noticed until yesterday. Johnny, yo también estoy suscriptor. Muchas gracias. Maybe I saw you. Johnny says, maybe I saw you Espanol con Juan. I'm laughing because I wish. I have never had a video with him. I have never seen him before in person. Oh, I know what you, Johnny. I know you're talking about. Was that Espanol con Juan? Was that another video? Oh, never mind. I don't know. Muchas gracias. Hablando de vosotros. Kevin, don't you like Spain? Why, Dios, chaval. Don't you like Spain? I do like Spain a lot more than I used to. Hi. Os recomiendo que escucháis y veáis las series o películas de España. Estuvo en mis recomendaciones y pues soy estadounidense y tú también, entonces yo vi tu videito, me encantó y me suscribí. Fue tan sencillo. Qué excelente. Me da mucho gusto oír esto. Me llena con felicidad. Mike, Ben, Johnny. There's another there's a recent interview I saw with another guy who's talking about his path to fluency. It just came out like a few weeks ago. I remember it might have been with Dreaming Spanish. I can't remember. But anyway, I'm a subscriber of Mike Ben as well. Sean Composer, buen Buso tiene un curso que contiene vosotros. Ah, verdad. I've heard very good things about Busu. I'm probably gonna look it up on Google and write them down to study them. Amir Carter, I think we all fall Mike Ben. More than likely. Qual iPhone? I think it's I'm not good with the iPhone numbers because they like skip. Didn't they skip 10 or something? Or did they skip? They skipped a number. They skipped 9, I think. I don't know, like 10 or whatever it is, something like that. Whatever's after the 8. ¿Cuál es la comida mexicana más que te gusta? Bueno, el platillo de México. El platillo de México que más me gusta. Qué difícil. Qué polémico. El platillo que me gusta. Estoy probando muchos platillos mexicanos por la primera vez, entonces no estoy seguro. Porque todavía hay de todo en México. Hay todo platillo en México. Todavía no he probado quizás casi 5% de lo que hay en México. Entonces sería difícil escoger una comida favorita de ahí. Pero me encanta una asada a la mexicana. Eso, ese platillo es súper rico y asada a la mexicana, por supuesto, y uno podría rechazar una quesadilla con queso, claro, con queso, una quesadilla de pollo con queso, con capas de queso. Oh, maybe I had that, sí. A-E-A-E-O. Practico mi escuchando de español con sus entrevistas. Oh, that's good. That's what I want. And I hope to have some more conversations in Spanish for some future videos. I would definitely love to have more conversations. Cuéntanos. ¿Cuál país que has visitado? ¿Cuáles son los países? Solamente he ido a 2 países en Latinoamérica. Yo he ido a México. Específicamente, yo fui a la bonita y grande ciudad de Guadalajara en el estado de Jalisco en 2019 y me encantó y yo tengo muchas ganas de volver a irme ahí. Aparte de México, yo he ido a la República Dominicana. Yo fui a este país 2 veces. Una vez Oh, sería cuáles son. ¿Cuáles son los países que has ido? Do you those in those UFOs? I guess it depends on what UFOs you're referring to. Eh, sí, yo fui a Santo Domingo. La primera vez que fui a la República Dominicana, yo fui y me alojé en Santo Domingo, la capital de RD de la República Dominicana, y también me encantó. Yo diría que me encantó más que de México, solamente por la razón por la cual yo hablo con más personas. En México, como casi no hablé con nadie ahí porque no estaba hablando español muchísimo en estos entonces, pero en la República Dominicana yo estaba hablando más, hablando en español con fluidez. Y este, sí, la República Dominicana es un paraíso, es un paraíso. Bueno, yo tengo tantas cosas para decir sobre RD. Me encanta la gente, me encanta la comida, como no sé, como todo lo que hay, la música, los bailes, la gente es diferente. Su forma de vivir es diferente en comparación con donde yo vivo en Estados Unidos, claro que sí, porque es un diferente país. Entonces, como todo es diferente entre los países, ¿me entiendes? Eh, ¿Qué más? Sí, sí, ¿cómo? No sé. Se siente más como que más viejo en algunos lugares. Bueno, no por todos lados, porque claro, hay lugares en RD, en Santo Domingo específicamente, que son modernos, claro, modernos con centros grandes y edificios super altos, como acerca de, ¿cómo? Mirador del Sur y ay Dios, ¿cómo se llama ese centro? Eh, el centro se llama, o uno de los centros se llamaron, ay Dios, Ágora. Era un centro súper gigantesco y bueno, casi nunca había estado en un centro así, incluso en los Estados Unidos. Ágora, y bueno, a lugares modernos y menos modernos en realidad. Fue un choque cultural ahí, definitivamente. Fue diferente, en verdad. But those are two places I've been to. Guadalajara and Santo Domingo. Oh, and me falta una más. And then I've also been to Samaná, en el norte del país. Amir, have you ever dated many Hispanics since your newfound love for the Spanish culture? And do you only want to date Spanish speakers? You have to get people to understand. I'm just curious. Um, the second question I want to answer. The first question I'll answer, and yes. Pero se acaba esa conversación. Pero definitivamente, si tienes un deseo para tener citas con los hispanohablantes, claro, claro, hazlo. Bueno, es una diferente experiencia, yo diría. Es una experiencia maravillosa y muy distinta y inolvidable, en verdad. Cualquier, cualquier momento en que estás hablando de tu segundo idioma para mí es, es un momento maravilloso. Es un momento, no sé cómo, es como, no sé cómo te explico. Son los mejores momentos de mi vida, hablando en español con hispanohablantes. Kevin. Mujeres latinas son fieles. Le pregunté a salir conmigo y me ha dicho que sí, pero se fue. Eso era cuando solo había estudiado español para 3 o 4 meses. Ella no habló inglés. Se pasa. Soldier, ¿cuál es tu canciones favoritas de español? Me encanta Pimpinela. I've never heard that song before. What kind of song is that? Sí, sería cuál es eso. I'm trying to think. One of my favorite, okay, yo diría que una de mis canciones favoritas de aventura específicamente de ese grupo de Nueva York, se llama La Novelita. I love La Novelita muchísimo. So yeah, La Novelita de aventura. I like that song a lot. May Boy, I like the song May Boy. Oh, Kevin, ¿te gusta Japón, Japan? I guess I can't really answer that because I don't know anything about Japan. I mean, I guess. I actually no. You don't tengo nada en contra de Japón. Oh, how do you say Japan in Spanish? Let me look it up because I don't know how to say Japan in Spanish. Because Japón is the in español. What is Japón? I thought. Well, what's Japanese? Japanese. Oh, Japón. Japanese is. Oh, Japón is. Oh, okay, I forgot. I would say that makes it more fun. It's always fun trying to get past the language barrier. That's like the funnest part when you're talking to someone. Not como no solamente en una relación romántica, pero con cualquiera. Intentando de destruir la barrera de comunicación. Wow. Es increíble. Pero I mean, it happens all the time. When people don't speak the same language, it happens all the time. Oh yeah, Aventura, la novelita, Me Voy by Hector Acosta. I'm pretty sure it's by Hector Acosta. I love that. Those two songs are bachata. Yeah, so Hector Acosta, El Torito, Me Voy by, yeah, so he has that one. So he has a single where he sings that one, but then he also collabed with Romeo Santos for that song too. I like that for bachata. Now, as for bachata, I like a lot of Kiko Rodriguez's songs. Kiko Rodriguez. Oh, he has, I forgot. I can't remember. Let me listen to it. I'm kind of loud. Can't remember if it's bachata or if it's like merengue. Okay, yeah, it's bachata. Yeah, so Kiko Rodriguez, I love his songs. Like they just have like such a, I don't know how to explain it. I like the pacing of the songs. I like the guitarra. wow. Como se tocan en sus canciones, buenísimo. Kiko Rodriguez, I like his songs. El verde de tus ojos, definitivamente. I like Luis Miguel de Amargue as also another bachatero. I like his songs as well. Tengo tiempo para amar. I think that's what his song is called. Luis Miguel de Amargue. A very long name. Yeah, so one of his songs I like is De Rodillas Te Pido. That one is for like, yeah. De Rodillas Te Pido que regreses conmigo. What, he has another album? Oh wow. I don't know. So I like his music. Salsa, no te vas a arrepentir escuchar a Mark Anthony, Eddie Santiago, Eddie Santiago, Tito Nieves. Yeah. I've listened to some Daddy Yankee songs. I haven't learned. I know who Luis Miguel is. I know he's extremely popular, but I have not listened to many of his songs. I also like Charlie Cruz. I like Charlie Cruz. Um, there is a Colombian group. Okay, there's Grupo Nietzsche de Colombia. I like them. But there's also another one. Eh, no, it's not Grupo Nietzsche. It's another group from Colombia that I really like. Que son salseros. I love Colombian salsa. Colombian salsa is my favorite type of salsa as of right now. Y no estoy hablando de la salsa de alimento, pero del baile. Pachanguero. Luis de Nuevos Cielos. What song is that? Cali Pachanguero. Oh, there it is. Cali Luis de Nuevos Cielos. Pancha. I can't spell this word. Panchajero. Panchajero? Panchajero. Anyway. Kevin. En Jalisco están las mujeres más hermosas de México. Nan Omar is mejor que Daddy Yankee. Daddy Yankee. I like Nicky Yam. Nicky Yam. Maluma, baby. ¿Dónde tiene más flow y creatividad? De verdad, pobre diablo es mi favorito. El queso de Oaxaca? Yes, I actually have some in my fridge right now. Don't saber para la disciplina. My favorite song of Nicky Jam is Nicky Yam, Nicky Yam. Nicky. ¿Cómo se llama? Listen to you. El Amante. That song, listen to that song. El Amante by Nicky Yam. El Amante, listen to the one where he's in it, but then there's a collab in between him for the same song between him, between Nicky Jam, Ozuna, and Bad Bunny, and it is really good. El Amante. Ozuna, Bad Bunny, and Nicky Jam. Me queda la canción de Vico. Vico se dándote vida. De Vico. I haven't heard that one before. Y los tamales de la olla. Sí, me encantan los tamales. ¿Has comido chile en relleno con queso? Claro que sí, yo he probado. También está muy rica y jugosa, definitivamente. Los abocados mexicanos, bueno, yo voy a decir algo muy polémico otra vez. Para decir la verdad, no soy fan de los avocados en general, no soy fan de los avocados. Yo prefiero quitar o no pedir para los avocados en mis platillos. En la forma de una salsa me gusta, pero yo no voy a como comprar un avocado ahora mismo del supermercado y comerlo eh, por completo. No, eso no es para mí. No me gusta el sabor. Dándote vida es un poco triste. Ok. Ya va subiendo el nivel para arriba. Fernando José López. Doble López. Algo de México, ja, me encanta esa advertencia. Y al final, ¿le gusta Bad Bunny? No, en verdad, no soy fan de Bad Bunny. Me gustan las canciones en las que Bad Bunny como que haga una apariencia en ese tipo de canciones. Por ejemplo, no voy a escuchar a un álbum de Bad Bunny, no. Yo voy a escuchar a una canción como El Amante, porque el cantante de esta canción es Nicky Jam, pero en una versión como un remix de El Amante hay Bad Bunny, pero el cantante principal de esa canción o rapero es Nicky Jam. Y la misma cosa con por ejemplo, porque yo había escuchado muchas canciones con Bad Bunny, pero Bad Bunny no, como no es cantante o el rapero principal de la canción, es otra persona. Por ejemplo, hay otra canción que me encanta escuchar muchísimo, que yo escuché por la primera vez hace 2 años o hace un año, algo así, que se llama Dura. Dura es por Daddy Yankee, pero en otra versión, en un remix, hay en Dura, hay Daddy Yankee, hay Nati Natasha, hay Becky G, y hay Bad Bunny. Entonces, como me gusta este tipo de canción, pero Bad Bunny no, como no es el principal. Pero a la vez no había escuchado tanto a sus álbumes o nada de eso, como casi nunca voy a escoger o como casi nunca voy a abrir YouTube y ver un video de Bad Bunny. Eso es como nunca había hecho, y quizás por esa razón, nunca me había atrevido a escuchar a él, pero quizás yo debería como escuchar a una de sus canciones. Pero la primera vez que yo escuché a Bad Bunny fue en las canciones de Daddy Yankee de Daddy Yankee y de Nicky Jam. El guacamole sí, pero eso no es no es mi primera selección de la salsa. Me encanta la salsa de como de queso o solamente queso. Queso, sí. Yo prefiero queso con los chips como, más que un guacamole. Anuel, Anuel habla muy brr. Soy latino. Anuel, no conozco tanto de sus canciones tampoco. Anuel, que Dios diga mi cielo. Anuel es de Puerto Rico. ¿O de dónde? Porque Ozuna es puertorriqueño. Él no es dominicano, es puertorriqueño, yo creo. Se me olvidó. Yo tampoco no soy fanático de, prefiero a Anuel más que el conejo malo. O sea, soy muy fanático, pero claro, tiene algunas canciones pegadas. Es que, ¿crees que en la teoría de tierra plano, flat earth? ¿Crees en la teoría de, bueno, tú vas con tantas preguntas que nunca me había preguntado antes? Y no, ¿qué preguntas? Fuertes. Te paso una de Bad Bunny bien tumbada. Dame un minuto, si de Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. El Boricua. Ok. Ojos pues desentenés. José Marín Raquel Anduesa, soprano. Es una cosa muy interesante. Sí, mano, es boricua. Ozuna es Dom y Bori. Ah, ok, los dos. Tiene sentido. Por sus canciones, por su estilo. There's one song I really like of Ozuna because he's actually using his like real voice. And I wish Ozuna como yo espero que, que Ozuna utilice más su voz natural, porque él sabe cómo cantar, como yo creo que su voz sin autotune suena mejor, como no hay comparación, pero casi en cada canción canta con el autotune y no con su voz natural. Bueno, eso es su estilo y funciona obviamente porque cada canción está duro. Chillón es muy agudo. Fernando, ¿qué significa eso? No estoy seguro. Chillón es muy agudo. No sé. But he's in a merengue uh, con Omega. Wow. Qué impresionante. Como siempre yo vuelvo a repetir esa canción. I think it's called El Fuerte. El Fuerte. Diego El Fuerte. That song is really good. By Omega y Ozuna. Ya nunca falla. Claro que sí. Y parece muy joven también. Pecadora. I like that type of like merengue de Omega, como, yeah, I can listen to that all day long, and it's definitely like my workout type of song that they give me, como me hace súper energético. Gente pico. No, I haven't. No, nunca he escuchado las canciones de Rebelde, pero me suena el nombre. Mike Towers, sí, pero no soy fan de él. Yo prefiero Maluma más que Mike Towers. Yo no creo que Mike Towers tiene tantas canciones. No, déjame ver. No sé, bueno, en verdad, sí, yo no conozco mucho de él, pero parece que solamente tenga 3 álbumes, que salió en 2016, uno en 2020 y su último, su último álbum salió en 2021. Oh, tiene, bueno, una buena cantidad. Mentira, mentira. Hay una canción de él que me encanta, es Diosa. Esa canción está duro, no voy a mentir. Diosa es una de esas canciones que yo voy a poner durante mis ejercicios, en verdad. Claro, Diosa, pero estoy buscando a otros para ver si me recuerdan. Mm, no, solo reconozco Diosa. Peligrosa. Me tiene dolorosa. Otra cosa. Tan, 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 tan. Sí, no tiene tantas canciones. ¿Qué está haciendo? No tiene tanta. Like Mike, lo mejor dijo de Trap en 2021. Me encanta Dura. Me encanta the Dura remix por Daddy Yankee. I don't know when that came out. Dura came out I think it came out en 2021 también. ¿O qué eso debe ver? Pero me encanta Dura. En verdad, eso fue una de las canciones de reggaetón que ya había escuchado en mi vida. Fue Dura. Y me enamoré inmediatamente. Oh, es un single. Oh, no, es un single. Dura Remix salió en 2018. La playa de Mike Towers, no, nunca. Mike es una leyenda, ¿verdad? Es una leyenda. ¿Crees que Mike Towers es una leyenda? ¿Cómo que? ¿Cómo que una leyenda? Eso no tiene sentido para mí. Cheyenne. No conozco a ella. Oh, fue la primera que escuché de él. Espérate, Kevin. Una pregunta a la vez. ¿Qué micrófono utilizo para streaming? Uh, JLAB. ¿Cómo se llama? Yo creo. JLA, JLAB o C, algo así. Nunca había escuchado a las canciones de QD tampoco. Y me lamento decir, I was not looking at the time. Me toca ir en 5 minutos. So once we hit the 2 minutes and 25-minute mark, I have to end this live stream because this live stream went by really, really fast. Y ay Dios, mi luz. And yeah, for all those who are here, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, suscríbete a mi canal, and like this live stream. Este video en directo. Like this live stream. Also, share my videos with your friends. Also, watch my new short. I made a new short where I was dancing to banda. I think it's banda. I get really confused with like the different Mexican genres of music and Mexican dances. I don't know why. I don't know that many. Like I know some of the, like I know norteño, I know banda, and what are the other ones? Like I'm already confused. Like I know those are like songs, but the way they explained to me what banda was, I didn't know if it was like an actual dance. Super confusing. But I think it was banda. And the song was showing on the screen here was La Boda de Huitlacoche. I'm still trying to figure out why there was a Boda de Huitlacoche. Why was there a wedding to Huitlacoche? Still kind of confused about that. But yeah, if you haven't learned any Mexican dances, make sure that you do that. It's a lot of fun. And go somewhere where they dance, where they have like traditional Mexican dancing. It's like super fun. Learn some banda, learn some cumbia. It's a lot of fun. Mis hobbies, mis pasatiempos. Me encanta estudiar español, claramente. Jugar videojuegos, hacer ejercicio, entrenar, leer, escribir y bailar. Amigo, yo escuché dura antes de empezar a aprender el idioma. Ok. Christine, Noe, have you ever dreamed in Spanish? I have. Actually, I think I went like a whole year without having a dream in Spanish. It was super weird. I don't know why, but I actually did just have another dream in Spanish like a few days ago, but I forgot to write it down. Make sure that you write down your dreams. If you don't do that, make sure that you write them down. But yes, I have had dreams in Spanish before, and they're really fun. Y de nada, Soldier Gaming, de nada. Cuando haces otros lives, my live streams, they are very como espontaneos. Usually I do them on the weekend when I have time. Like this, during the night usually. Friday night, Saturday nights, Sunday nights are prime for Spanish Nerd live streams. Diache. ¿Por qué sales tan temprano? No quiero ser tu mano de pelo. Tan temprano, tan early, ¿verdad? Ya llegamos a 2 horas y 25 minutos y ya dices que es poco tiempo. Qué pena. But yes, thank you all again for joining this live stream. This has been a very fun conversation. Absolutely. It's always really fun having a conversation with y'all and sharing our language learning journeys together. I love having these conversations. I thank you all for the support. Absolutamente les aprecio muchísimo for English. Por todo que han hecho para mí, for everything that you have done for me, specifically, of course, being part of live streams, being very active within the live streams, and also watching my videos, sharing my videos, being active within the community tab as well, and answering the different posts that I make as well. So I like those. The community tab is really fun. I like being active there. So that's really fun too. And thank you again for all your donations as well, and for all your support. It's been yeah, I could have never believed that I would have like I'll be having live streams. I'll tell you that, or having a YouTube channel. So like this has been like an absolutely amazing experience to have. Have this YouTube channel. To be able to talk about learning Spanish, learning languages is una maravilla. Es algo muy inesperado. So yeah. Vaya, eso es nada para hoy. Gracias para la relación. Claro que sí. Es mi gusto, en verdad. Es mi placer para estar con ustedes y platicar. So thank you all again. Thank you very much. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like my videos. Leave comments in the videos too. Make sure that you leave comments when you're watching the videos. Don't just watch them, but leave comments, because I like to know what you think of the videos. If you think that they're trash, are they basura, or son muy valiosos y de oro? I like to know that as well. Are they trash, or are they very valuable? Because that helps me be able to make videos that y'all will enjoy, because I don't like making bad videos. So I want to make sure that I make good videos. But of course, I'm still new at this, so I'm still trying to do my best to make better videos. I'm always trying to become better editor, better at creating scripts and all that kind of stuff. And como igual que español, estoy mejorando mi forma de hablar en inglés. I'm also increasing my English speaking skills too. So yeah, make sure that you do that and share my videos. Share with one of your friends. Share with one of your friends, like one of your favorite videos of mine. That would be awesome if you could do that. Or even better, share one of your favorite videos that you have watched on my channel on your Instagram or on your Twitter or in Reddit or something like that, like on your social media. What's your name, real? Falan puro, mano, sigue para adelante. Muchas gracias, claro. Y voy a seguir para adelante. Yeah. Don't forget to check out all the links in the description again for resources. If you need any resources, and if you don't need any resources, maybe you have some friends who may need them. But again, like, you don't have to use any of the links that are linking out to Amazon, or that are linking out to Amazon or ITALKI. But those are just affiliate links. So that means if you use them, como yo voy a recibir una ganancia, so like I'll receive like a commission from them, but from Amazon. But you don't have to use those links. So you can just go on Amazon yourself, and you can just search up those books or whatnot. So yeah, that's all just about helping to support. Then of course, my Buy Me a Coffee page, you can donate there as well. So what is today? Today's Sunday, right? And tomorrow's Monday. Yeah. So tomorrow at 6 a.m. Tomorrow at 6 a.m. I'll be having another video be uploaded. So yeah, hopefully you will enjoy that. So again, mil gracias otra vez. Muchas gracias a todos ustedes por uniendo a este canal y a este video de indirecto. So thank you all for joining this live stream, and we'll talk very soon. Nos vemos y cuídense. Adiós. Que tengan una buena noche.